Today I want to talk about the lists of the genealogies, and I was reading last night in Joshua about the distribution of the land, and we tend to either skip over them or not really engage with it. But yesterday, as I was thinking about it, those lists and genealogies and the distribution of the land are really important because it tells us that God knows where we are, knows what we're doing, has put us where we're meant to be, within the circle we're meant to be in. And, you know, the Israelites, the Levites saw to the tabernacle, but when they stopped and they put the tabernacle up, the tribes all camped around, and they'd all got they were all there at the points of the compass. But that tabernacle was surrounded, and they were putting tribes and clans, and it says families, so they were quite often extended families. And that is so important, that we know that God has done that for us too. The land, when it was divided up, each tribe had an allotted piece of land, and within that allotted piece of land, there was land within the land. It doesn't tell us too much about it. It tells us where Caleb's piece was and what they gave to Joshua and one or two others. There's a daughter mentioned who married into Caleb's tribe, and she said she got this piece of land, her husband did, but she went to her dad and said, can I have the lower and upper springs as well? And it's just that knowledge that God is in the detail. We sometimes we look so far in that we don't even see the little detail, or we look so far and we don't see the big picture either, or we're looking so far out that we don't see the little detail. But God sees it all, and he knows all about it, and he knows all about us. And I find comfort in that, because when you know, they say, oh, I looked at the sky and I felt so insignificant. Well, we're the crown of Christ's creation. When God created man, that was when he stopped creating, because we were the pinnacle of that creation. And when we look at the stars, there's no need to feel so small, because the God who created those stars created us too. So just remember today that if you're feeling a bit lost and a bit insignificant, and as if what you do doesn't matter, just remember the lists in the Old Testament. And God didn't leave out any important detail, and he won't leave you out either. In Jesus' name, amen.